Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the FFR Rando Marathon Winter 2022 edition. We are supporting the Burned Children's Fund for the South Carolina firefighters and the Medical University of South Carolina, and we're about to get started with a Crystalis Randomizer. But first, a couple of notes. First off, we have a $45 donation from Sarasan who says, Yo, lock in the gyre. Need to see Wef and Waffle increase their death counters to Ravenlord since they've committed dollars per death. Also $5 to nerf Shattered Orb. So thank you very much, Sarasan. And that brings us $70 away from our extended goal from the summer 2022 Rando Marathon. So that's going to be our next big goal. And since we are at $165 during my hosting block, that means I need to put another hat on. So I'll be doing that. But first off, of course, I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to our commentators, Code Gorilla and Big Daryl, who are going to commentate the Crystalis Randomizer. So good luck, have fun, and let's go.
All right, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I am Code Gorilla. I'm joined by Big Daryl. Big Daryl, how you doing?
I am doing good. How's everybody doing tonight? Today. It's early, don't mind me.
Yeah, it's getting up early on a Sunday for some Crystalis Randomizer action. This should be a lot of fun. Why don't we go ahead and get our racers underway here while we talk a little bit about what we're going to be seeing today.
All right, sounds good. Let me go ahead and drop the gate for them. They will be starting here momentarily. But yeah, today... sorry, go ahead.
No, go right ahead.
I was going to say, today we're doing a four-way race between the Axeman, Mashima, Tornell, and Sho Fukumachi. Mashima and Tornell were our two finalists in the Crystalis Randomizer tournament that we had going on earlier this year, with Tornell pulling off the win. And Axeman is a well-known runner of many things, and Sho Fukumachi may or may not be familiar to the FFR community. I don't know.
It looks like we are already underway here. Right off the bat, we have a Fruit of Line, which is complete and utter garbage. But we also have a key. So one of the flags we're playing with today are unidentified key items. So all of the item names have been randomized, and so what our runners know is that they have a key, and they don't know anything else about it. They don't know which of the three doors it goes to. So,
yep, it could go to a prison. It could go to a wall. It could go to a windmill.
Yep. And of course, one of the things we're also doing here is randomized houses, which is, you can think of it as a simple engine shuffler. But that means that Axeman, who's heading over here to the windmill entrance, may not actually find the windmill, and does not, in fact, found Tornell's house.
Well, that'll be interesting later.
Meanwhile, everyone else has headed to the first couple of checks, which are in the GBC cave. This is actually added into the randomizer. It's a cave based off of the Game Boy Color version of the game. Holds two items and passages out to a couple of other select places in the world to basically open up the start game to make the randomizer play a little bit differently.
Yeah, it makes it a whole lot less linear.
Exactly.
Ico Shield is a nice pickup there on Tornell and Mashima's side, and Sho just picks it up as well.
And it looks like they've also found the Sword of Water right off the bat.
Yep.
Which is good. Always good to have a weapon early on. Of course, the swords are also needed to open doors. Open walls of various kinds. Looks like we have a wind wall in the GBC cave. So we can't get through that exit right now. You'll see a couple of our players using the Wild Warp functionality to just return to the start of the game from anywhere you want. It's in there. It's both an easy warp option and also soft lock prevention, just in case. And you can see Tornell and Sho now both getting the news about the Windmill Cave. Meanwhile, Mashima is doing a little bit of grinding, it appears, while heading out of the other exit of GBZ Cave into the Goa field.
Cornell taking a couple seconds, deciding which way does he want to go. Looks like he's just going to go through the GBC cave and go out the one entrance he can. Mashima is in the town of Goa, so that opens up a little bit early.
Yeah. I didn't notice. Did he check the entrance behind? It looks like Axe just did. And it looked like it was... I couldn't tell if that's Goa Tower or Stixie.
I'm not sure. I actually glanced over at another runner every time I checked.
There's a lot of stuff going on. Alright, I got a better look at it at Tornell's. That looks like Stixie based on the color palette. So, that's a bunch of items, but you have to be able to survive these shooting statues. There's a couple of ways to do that. You need barrier. That's the intended way to do it. You need light, will let you glitch around the streams. Or you just need, like, a lot of healing and maybe a shield ring to just tank your way through them.
Yeah. And Mashima running into the town of Chiron using the statue glitch, which allows you to get around stationary NPCs guarding doors. Goes in, finds a room in Nadare's, and proceeds to, or in Bryn Mawr pub, I should say, and then proceeds to kill off poor random guy. Sorry, poor random guy.
And that looks like the Goa fortress in the back of Chiron.
And they wondered why they got invaded.
Yeah.
I mean, build your town in the front door of the enemy. I mean,
You can see
Axe
here,
is just
Axe
going through.
probably just wants to get the information about
Yeah.
whether or not this wall can be broken. It can't. And then just resets out of there. So you don't end up actually having to spend the items.
Yep, Mashima's climbing Stixie. He just found telepathy.
Okay.
While mostly useless, it is required for the Oak check, which also unlocks the Stom check.
Yep. Although the Oak Mother and the Oak Elder can be found in any house in the world, because again, we have randomized houses.
Yeah. Axe and Show picking up telepathy as well. Looks like Tornell's not too far behind him or ahead of him. I don't know which. Mashima finding out the key works.
Alright.
Well, that's an interesting place.
Yeah, so we found the pyramid. At
Oak
the
Elder was at Leaf. Thank you, Zira.
top of Mount Hydra.
Also, welcome, Mirai.
You are reminding me that I should probably have the stream chat open, which I appreciate.
To be fair, I have mine on my main monitor, but I have our stream on my second monitor, which is a full 90 degrees to my left.
Yeah. But in any case, we're going through Pyramid here. We, our runners are going to take on Dragon here. Should not take very long. Dragon is very pattern-based boss, very easy to just dodge all the attacks, and has no iframes, so pretty easy to kill even with low sets of equipment, despite being the second to last boss of the game, or third to last.
And so one thing I'm sure the viewer might notice here, there's an enemy HP bar in the randomizer. That is a nice little addition we added to kind of help see how much damage we're doing, as well as show viewers how close they are to killing something. And Mashima picked up something, but my stream went a little pixely.
Yeah, I could not quite read that. Oh,
Hazmat?
Hazmat suit?
Yeah. Oh, and for those wondering, one of the incentives was meant for Baby Elephant Walk. So instead of the normal boss music, we're going to be hearing Baby Elephant Walk every time we come into a boss, as well as in a couple other places, which we'll mention when we get there. But yes, this was initially a joke on one of our runners, Matrick, Another runner had just made reference to Baby Elephant Walk, and it was a whole thing. And he hated it, so therefore we had to add Baby Elephant Walk into the randomizer. Because we love our community. But yeah. Yep, that was the hazmat suit from Dragon, and Sword of Wind was the reward from Azteca.
That is certainly useful to have. So, to actually beat the game here, what you are required to have, you need all 4 swords, you need all 3 bows, and you need flight. And then you need to also kill basically all of the bosses in the game. But again, that's having all 4 swords will pretty easily let you do that. Although some of the bosses can be a little tough if all you have is a level 1 sword.
Yeah.
Alright,
And
it seems like we're now truly diverged here. We have Axeman going through Zebu's cave. And finding out, nope, can't do anything there. That is a thunder wall. Looks like Mashma is taking that Sword of Wind through GVC cave. Setting up the other exit. Same as Tornell.
And we're coming out to find Bert!
This looks like the Bryn Mawr area. Yeah.
Yep.
So you can head right over to Oak, which is what Tornell is doing.
So that character I referred to as Bert is a, he was the standing magician that was firing projectiles at you. We call him Bert because he's Bert. And looks like Tornell found someone.
Looks like it was just one of the random other town elders. It doesn't give you anything, but
yeah,
with the random sprite palettes, it can be tough to tell them apart sometimes.
Yeah. Finds an item shop. Anything here? Warp boots. Mashma has found Queen Arillis, as well as Sword of Thunder.
Oh boy.
And we're at Nadare's, wherever Nadare's is.
Well, so Nadare's is always in the same spot.
Oh, it was not.
But it's worth noting that, so Mashima went straight to Bryn Mawr on the other side of the field, which is where he found that Sword of Thunder. I also saw Brokahana in Bryn Mawr as well.
We have tower robots, which is another flag on that we have going for this on show's side. We are somewhere in Goa Fortress with tower robots, and there's Barrier.
Yeah, so it looks like we found Barrier in Stixie. Which I have to imagine means Sho just brute forced his way through the Barrier statues, because I don't think anyone's found Flight yet.
Yep, I'm pretty sure he did. Oh, we got a Mimic on Mashima's side. That was Brokahana and Bryn Mawr. That is correct.
Yeah.
And that's where Arillis was. Alright.
Yeah, Mimics are kind of nasty in this game. If you approach a chest from... Basically, if you approach it from above, or you're not careful when approaching it from the side, you will get hit by the Mimic, and they will frequently poison you on contact.
Yeah. Poison in this game is no joke.
No, it kills you very quickly. The good news is, if you have any status effects and you've made a checkpoint, you could reset to clear your status effects.
That and status effects don't overlap, so you could get paralyzed to remove poison, That'd be kind of dumb, but... Or you could get turned to stone, or into a slime, just to remove something. Which if you're by a staircase, and you get turned to slime, that's usually the option you want to do. Or I guess instead of slime, it's called a nooper in this game, but... Axeman killing off the Mimic for money!
Also going through Mount Saber North. Yeah, so it looks like Mount Saber North has Thunder Walls, which is good, because that's where you got teleported to right after getting the Sword of Thunder, so...
Yep.
You can see several of our racers heading through there right now.
Everyone
Show's just off. Yeah, Show's just off doing his own thing. Picked up the Warrior Ring in Stixie. That and Barrier is not a bad little set of things to have.
No, especially since we know that we have access to two different shooting statue rooms, Stixie and Goa. So,
granted, you had to get through the Stixie ones to actually get to. But I suppose you'll have to go back once you get Flight, because there's half the items in Stixie you can't get without Flight.
yeah, Flight locks a lot of late game stuff, which part of this is considered. Ooh, Tornell taking a death there.
And we've got Mashma fighting one of the first major bosses, General Kilbesk. Looks like we are able to damage him. It looks like with Sword of Wind, so I haven't been paying too close attention to the enemy weaknesses. They may or may not be randomized, and this is a hint that they might not be, because General Kilbesk is usually only weak to wind.
Or it could just be a giant troll.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were talking earlier about most of the bosses being required. The 4 generals twice, as well as Dragon 1, are the required bosses. So stuff like Vampire and the Giant Bug, they're not required. We don't have to.
Ooh,
for the storyline.
Teleport. Teleport is a nice reward at the top of Mount Saber North.
It lets you get into Mount Saber North.
It also means you don't have to spend a fortune on buying as many pairs of shoes as you can fit in your bag, but...
Yeah. You can load up with medical herbs that may or may not do the job. So Mashima's making his way to Amazonas. Not really finding a whole lot. And Axeman's gonna go start his baby elephant walk. So, the Calbesk 1 fight here, we call him General Hug and Tackle.
Yeah.
Because he just wants some love. Even if he has to put you in a corner and hug you to death, he will.
Yeah, honestly, all of the boss's most dangerous attack is hugging you. It's the most threatening thing any of the bosses can do.
But honestly, outside of one other boss, Calbesk is the hardest to deal with. The other one, we will mention it when we get to him, but if you played the Crystalis vanilla game, or even the randomizer, you know who we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Tornell and his arch-nemesis, the butterflies, and his arch-nemesis, the lake, his arch-nemesis himself.
Looks like Mashima found one of those mimics and got poisoned. Thankfully has recover, so that's not a big deal.
Oh yeah.
Sho has finally made it to the Bryn Mawr area after that divergence into Stixie. We'll see if that pays off for him in the long run.
I didn't catch what Akahana wanted vanilla, but I'm assuming something. Oh hey, there's Baby Elephant Walk.
Yep. So yeah, the main thing Sho got for doing 60 early Barrier's going to help a little, and I think Warrior Ring is going to be the biggest difference, because that'll let you do a lot of combat a lot faster. You can see Mashima right now taking the time to kill some enemies. If you have Warrior Ring, this goes by so much faster, because you can also just do it while moving. You also don't have to charge up to break walls. It's a very good piece of equipment if you can get it early.
Oh, yeah. It makes so many bosses easier. It makes random enemies easier. Warrior Ring is probably one of the two most important accessory type equipments in the game.
Yeah. It's either number 2 or number 3.
Speed Boots is an obvious number 1.
Exactly. The one that all of our racers want to see as soon as possible are the Speed Boots, because this is a race, you just want to go fast. But then, one of the 2 combat upgrades is also very nice for fighting all of the bosses. And
yeah.
It looks like Tornell wants the Tornado Bracelet. That's Tornell, the character in the game, not Tornell the runner. Tornell the runner might also want the Tornado Bracelet.
Yeah. But they got a xylophone, which is one of the 4 instrument-type items, usually called flutes, but now they're just randomized, because, you know, randomizer.
Mm-hmm.
So the xylophone could be our flute, our alarm flute, which has 2 uses.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the shell flute. It could be the insect flute, which I don't think any of the people here want to see. Well, the runners, anyway. I'm always down for a giant bug fight, especially if it's tinky. And the last one is the Flute of Lime, which will unpetrify guest characters, or NPCs, I should say. And that's really not something we want to see right now for the runners, because there's no, well, there's no way to the waterfall cave right now in order to be able to do that.
It's like Tornell just made the long walk through Oasis Cave, broke the wall in the center of Oasis Cave, just to find it was guarding a Mimic.
Womp womp.
Now, he did take the time to actually kill the Mimic, because Mimics have the highest gold drop of basically anything in this game, so if you ever need money, just farm Mimics.
So Axeman went ahead and checked the insect spot, and we found out that our xylophone does not call a giant bug from the depths of the forest. And yes, Smile Fires, Matrick is not going to be able to watch this at all. Because Baby Elephant Law. Yeah, it could be vanilla weaknesses 0, but I don't know.
Tornell's showing off the Warp Boots fight, Warp Boots glitch in the Stomp fight. If you have Warp Boots, you can use Warp Boots and warp to one of a couple of towns. Leaf is one of the safe ones, and just win the fight automatically. Otherwise, it is impossible to win like the first 2 instances of the fight, and it's difficult to win the 3rd one. But I think the first one is even like TAS impossible. I'm not sure about the second one.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I do know that as a kid, it didn't stop me from trying.
Sho has made it to the top of Mount Saber North, and you can see that Warrior Ring really paying off and making that fight go by very quickly. It's now
getting his teleport. Finding out that the key doesn't work there.
Yeah, I noticed, I believe it was Tornell picked up another key in Oasis Cave.
Yep, that could be our key to the Stixie entrance.
I think it's probably Windmill Key, because we already saw the key to the Stixie entrance. The 3 are Windmill, Prison, and Stixie.
Oh yeah, Windmill.
Meanwhile, it looks like Mashima has made it into Goa, presumably through the front entrance, since we still haven't found Flight anywhere.
Yep, and he is winding up on, it looks like Mato's floor. Or is that Carmine's? I don't remember offhand.
No, that is Mato's floor. You had it right.
Okay. I'm kind of questioning my sanity at this point. Not saying I'm a little tired, but a little tired. Alright, we got Tornell and Stixie fighting K-Fal's dude, also known as Flail Knights or Flail Guys.
Yep, looks like they now have the right sword to actually go all the way through this cave. Although you still can't get the item at the peak of Mount Hydra without Flight, so...
Yes.
And this is interesting. So Flight is a very powerful tool, and you don't usually see it get pushed back this late.
Well, not if I'm rolling the seeds anyway. Mashima finding some silver arrows.
Yep, I just saw the same thing.
So that's going to be one of our 3 bows that are required.
Yeah. Now, it is required to go through pretty much all of Goa, so I don't think anyone is going to miss that particular bow.
Yeah.
Because, as we mentioned previously, you have to fight all the bosses. And most of those bosses are in Goa. Half of them are. Axeman getting the bad news about Oasis Cave.
I don't think
Well,
anybody's
yeah.
triggered the Chiron Massacre yet, either.
They can't have, because you have to visit the temple first.
Oh, right, you have to
And
find
they haven't
Sabu, and
found the temple.
that's right. Oh, crumbling platforms. That's a thing. Now, normally crumbling platforms are only found in the pyramid, am I correct?
It's been so long since I've played the vanilla that I honestly don't know. Honestly, I don't pay attention to the platforms that much, because usually by the time I'm here, I have Flight, and I just fly over these instead of waiting for them, so...
Yeah. Oh boy. Ashima is finding the other guy that I referred to earlier in the Kelbesk fight. The most dangerous one to fight.
The pinball ninja himself.
Yeah.
General motto.
He just tries to bowl you over with his love. That's right, I made a bad pun, and I am not ashamed of it. I am, honestly, but...
Yeah, I believe Moto 2 is generally considered to be one of the more difficult fights in the game. If not the most difficult fight.
Oh, yeah.
Just because his pattern is so chaotic. And he moves very quickly. But it looks like... Oh, I almost spoke too soon. There we go. Looks like Mashima is through the fight. And is rewarded with Flight. There it is.
Wow. At 26 minutes and 20 seconds, Mashima has gained a slight lead on everybody else.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge. Flight just lets you get around so much faster.
Before that, honestly, even with all the divergence, I was given the lead to show. Mashima's taken a slight lead here.
Yeah.
And, yep, Sabera, it is vanilla weaknesses. They do not have the Sword of Fire, so Sabera's guarding the continuation of that direction. But hey, we've got another direction we're going to go, so we're going to check out the Goa's entrance. Or Stixie, I should say.
Yeah.
Well, we already know it's here, but...
Well, in particular, we don't know what's on the right side of here, because you need Flight to get here. And Masha happens to be the first one to check these 3 chests, so... Medical Herb.
Robot.
I missed what that was. I think that was a key, yeah.
Ancient Key, I think it was.
So, if that key ends up being important, then Sho and Tornell, who I think have both already, or maybe Axe. People that have already been to Stixie will need to make a second dip into Stixie. That said, that's either the windmill key or the prison key. The prison key could be important to actually getting to the Portoa area. Because there is a castle entrance in Portoa, and of the 3 castles we haven't seen yet, 2 of them are going to be required to beat the game because they hold required bosses. That's Chiron Temple, which is where you fight Motto 1, and Sabera's Castle, where you fight, well, Sabera. And especially if it's either of those, then there isn't really another way into the Portoa region. You have to come in through Mount Saber North, so that key is required.
Yeah.
Key to prison.
Hey guys, since we're about 30 minutes in, y'all mind if I jump in real quick with a little bit of an announcement?
Feel free.
Alrighty, so first off, we have an $80 donation from Lord Fizzlebeef that says, "Can't be a bad day when you wake up to Crystalis. Put this toward meme sprites in Link's Awakening DX." And that actually relates to the announcement, which is our runner of the Link's Awakening DX randomizer, Pink Batman, has informed us that if we're going to do the meme sprite, which we have met, or switching over normal logic to glitched logic, which we have not yet met, we need to have that locked in about the next 30 minutes. So that means if you want to get the glitched logic in, that's going to be $80. We have no money in for that yet, so if y'all want to donate toward that, make sure to get those donations in within the next half hour, because Pink Batman will need to set that up and get that ready to run during the setup block. So we've got about a half hour on that. And of course, as Darkman is mentioning in chat, that means now that we are at about, let's see if I'm doing my math right, $245 during my hosting block. That means one more hat on my head, which is the picture y'all are seeing on stream. And we're very close to another one, so keep those donations in for more hats as well. So thank you guys.
Alright, meanwhile, Mashima has made it to the Sahara and to the Pyramid entrance, only to find Portoa Castle there, which tells us some interesting things. The Portoa Castle being in Pyramid means our last 2 castles, which are in Zombie Town, where Sabera's Fortress normally is, and in Portoa, where the Portoa Castle normally is, are Sabera's Castle and Chiron Temple. Both of those are absolutely required. Which means we absolutely need the Shell Flute. We absolutely need the key to prison to get into the Portoa region. So just a couple more key items that we now know are blocking go mode.
Yeah. Also, during the quick break there, Axeman had found his flight, and he's going to be making his way to find Queen Asina.
And we've got...
Baby Elephant Walk.
Yep. Tornell and Sho both facing off against Motto 2. Again, you can see that Warrior Ring that Sho has really coming in handy. You can see just how much... Tornell and Sho went into that fight at about the same time. You can just see just how much faster it went for Sho because of that Warrior Ring. That said, both of our runners are through that fight.
Everybody has flight now. It's only a 5-minute difference, roughly, between Mashima and the others, so that's not too bad. Axeman taking a look behind the back, just to trigger that. And alright. Mashima gonna find a Mimic for his reward. And Tornell.
Tornell and Sho both double-checking Zabera 2, confirming that they cannot actually defeat her.
And Mashima picking up a silver key from a flight check. Not enough space for a medical herb. What's going on here?
Mashima heading into the back entrance of Goa. Given that you know where Sabera is in Goa Fortress, and you have the other 3 swords, you can clear out the rest of this fortress right now.
Yeah. So, really funny thing, Axeman just found the Leaf Village Elder who gave him a bow of some kind. I think... I didn't catch the name of it, but... might have been the Bow of Destruction. And we found the windmill entrance in Kensu's Bow of Darkness. Okay, thank you. My screen went a little pixely there for a second, so I'm like, okay, well... Destruction, darkness, eh.
Close enough. Mashima making quick work of Helbesk 2 and getting rewarded with Refresh. Now has a long walk through the rest of Helbesk's floor, which is just this giant maze of raised platforms and lowered hallways that has no items in it. So
go up the walls, go down the walls. I hated this as a kid. Yeah. I can't even explain how long it took me to figure out accidentally which way to go.
I still hate it as an adult, especially if you're playing with randomized maps.
I'm not that crazy like you.
Well, we can't all make good decisions. Look.
Hey, the ancient key opens up the backside.
Ooh, and power ring.
That would be the other most important item besides the warrior ring for accessories.
Yeah.
And speed boots.
Cornell has finally picked up that warrior ring after making it into Stixie.
And there we go, Sho finding his Bow of Darkness. So we've now located 2 of the 3 bows. Presumably the Bow of Sun is the one we're missing, but they did randomize the name, so we're just kind of guessing at this point. No Matrix Slimes yet.
There's that barrier spell for Tornell. Again, just another good tool to have for fighting a lot of bosses. I just saw Mashima pick up some eyeglasses. We are in Carmine's basement, which is going to has 5 items in it. I missed what some of them were, but...
I did as well.
Oh, that looked like it was another bow. Oh, Orb of Thunder. Orb of Thunder is good. Especially, you're about to go fight Carmine, who is weak to Thunder, so having that power upgrade is,
pretty nice. And the barrier spell is also pretty nice.
Yeah, this boss is gonna get evaporated. There we go.
Ooh. Axeman going into Mado 1, which is noticeably easier than Mado 2.
Yeah, just same idea, a lot slower, which helps a lot. You can actually react.
Yeah, Mashima found a Piccolo, it looked like, for his reward for beating Carmine. Oh, I missed what Axe grabbed. And it looks like Slime Kensi wanted a Carissa plant, I believe?
Got a wax candle for Axe.
Wax
chat.
Candle. Thank you.
There'll be some kind of lamp. It might be the trade-in lamp. It might be the lamp you use to fix the broken statue.
Oh, speaking of statues, the show just found an opal statue.
Oh, that's right. We did meet the, I believe the bid war. Yeah, it just came up on the screen. $20 to save Stom. That means they're going to need to save one of those opal statues to drop on Stom later on.
Yep, because that's something that we very recently added in, was the ability to revive Stom.
I think Actually, I don't know if the programming made it into this branch, because it was actually programmed in as a thing at one point, as a joke. It's mostly just memeing. It doesn't actually have any gameplay effect, but...
Yeah. You can donate to Kill Snom. It is only $20 to nothing right now, so... All Killing Snom really does is we just talk to him and... Well, you know, that old thing. Meanwhile, Tornell is flying up, losing his way. He's gonna try and enter... I'm blanking on the name. Oh, Swan.
Yeah.
That's the name.
Mashima is heading into the crypt, presumably to check the bows that he has, to see if he can do a crypt dive. The Bow of Darkness was the Bow of Sun, and he does in fact have the correct 2 bows.
Yay! So he can check the... one item here?
2 items.
2. I always forget about the second one.
Yeah.
Hey, it was a Matrix line.
Maxman.
Meanwhile, Axeman finding Lake of Rage, or Tornell's Bane, whatever you want to call it. So a little bit of an inside joke because Tornell had a very bad time because he forgot about that check. For a little too long. And it was a very important, required thing to do. So hopefully he remembers about it this time.
And I already missed what Mashima picked up in the first spot in the crypt. So it looks like Tornell does have the alarm flute, because he just woke up the windmill guard.
It was a mimic.
So that was 2 mimics in the crypt, making that crypt dive a waste of time, unfortunately, for Mashima.
Yep. And Tornell picked up a figurine from the windmill guard. Gets a magic ring for blowing open the windmill. And he's gonna go exploring. A few items here. In vanilla, this is where you get the Orb of Wind, the rabbit boots. Well, I mean, there's a few other chests as well. We're gonna find out if this is actually important or just kind of a wild goose chase.
And it looks like Sho is finally starting to make it up Mount Saber West. I believe all of our other runners have already been up here.
Ooh, another opal statue found.
And that was just a medical herb in Carissa Plant Meadow.
Yeah. Mashima not having the correct statue. Or the correct flute. So... medical herb on Tornell's side. Show knocking out some Medusas and random enemies. Build up his level up a little bit. He's already level 8, which matches Axe and Mashima. Generally, by the end of this, they're around level 11, maybe 12.
It's another opal statue for Sho, by the way.
Yep.
That's in Mount Saber West, so presumably that means many of our runners already have that one. I know at least Mashima went up Mount Saber.
I don't know that Axe or Tornell have. I feel like they went up part of it.
You might be right.
I think they went up it before they had flight, so that would have taken out a couple of checks, or one check.
Yeah.
Mashima donning the glasses, gonna go around the shed, come up here to this lighthouse and find a sleeping Kensu.
Oh good, we've got another hat stack update. That's fantastic.
Also, good news, Slime Kensu won the Carissa plant, which was held by Sleeping Kensu.
We also
Here,
have
hold on to this for me. I'm gonna need it later.
We also have another big donation if you want me to sneak that in.
Alright, go for it.
So 00713 donated $226.69. So holy mackerel.
Wow.
Crystalis is the best. Let's get one more run. Those 3 words in caps. And let's let Stom die because no one likes Stom because it's his fault Chiron got sacked.
Well, hopefully our runners are paying attention to the race time room. I have just informed them that it is now time to kill Stom.
As a little bit of a side note, that brings us beyond our $4,500 next stretch goal that we had. So we are well beyond our $4,285 that we raised in the summer. So fantastic job, everybody. We are now pushing for 5K. If we can get 5K by the end of the day, that would be amazing too. So good job, y'all, and let's keep it going.
So, to keep you here for just a couple seconds, how many hats is that now?
That's going to be a lot of hats.
That's what we all want to know.
That's going to be a lot of hats. I'm going to have to do some math on this one, so give me a second.
We don't care so much about this race right now. Now we got to know how many hats and see the hats.
So that's $471 or so during my hosting duties. So that's going to be 6 hats. Yeah, 6 hats. So give me a second. I'll have to get y'all an updated picture in a minute.
Oh, I await with bated breath. In the meantime, we've got more Baby Elephant Walk.
Yep.
Tornell chewing through Kelbesk 2. We've got both Axe and Tornell going through the front entrance of Goa and clearing out, again, everything but Sabera 2. There's those eyeglasses. Got Mashima dealing with Vampire in Sealed Cave. First boss of the game, so not a particularly difficult fight. And it looks like we also have Sho going through Goa as well. Looks like all of our runners are going to end up triple dipping Goa, because they'll finish off here, but they'll need to come back one more time to deal with Sabera 2, once they actually have the Sword of Fire.
Sorry about that. I had to step away for just a moment because more hats, more money, more support for this amazing charity, the MUSC Burn Children's Fund. For the South Carolina firefighters, affiliated with the MUSC Children's Help. Now, to plug that a little bit here, the FF1R community is doing this marathon because this... Sorry, it's a little bit of a subject for me because I just had my grandmother pass away Monday, and she had actually lost a couple of her siblings in a house fire when she was small. So this is a little bit near and dear to my heart, even though I never got to meet my family members that passed away in that. It's still something that affected my grandmother for the rest of her life. Now, we're doing this because the Burn Children's Fund, we're going to be benefiting it. I mean, their mission is to provide funding for like non-medical items and services critical to the recovery of pediatric burn patients, including the wound care and the equipment for it, and even just providing funding for patients' families and just basic needs, stuff like food, lodging, and all that. So we're doing this for a good cause. We're making runners suffer. We're entertaining people. But just remember, everybody, we're doing this because we all care.
Speaking of caring, and thank you for pretty much doing my hosting job for me. Got a couple more donations to mention. Big Daryl, 1986, with $10 says more hats and my choice, which I will tip over to the logic glitch for the Link's Awakening run, which is coming up. And Yaisu also donates $20 and says add to Zelda logic glitch. So that means we are 30 out of $80 for that. So just a reminder, we've got about probably 10 minutes-ish on that logic glitch. So if y'all want to get more donations and more hats on my head that is getting increasingly heavy and my neck, it's starting to hurt a little bit, just make sure to donate to the donation here for the FFR Rando Marathon. Oh, y'all are loving it. Thank you. But anyway,
Yeah.
So make sure to get those donations in because we need more hats, we need more donations, we need more logic glitches. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and kick it back to y'all.
I love the slime hat, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I try to get as many sort of gaming hats as I can. Sonic is squished in there somewhere. I've got both of my Final Fantasy hats, Moogle and the Chocobo. So yeah, we're working up there. We haven't even gotten to the hat that started it all yet. So keep on donating.
So, as a quick update, I want to note, as Axe and... Actually, if you watch Show's side, he's about to find it. As a couple people were going through Sabera's floor here in Goa Tower, I noticed they picked up a bow. So that means, I believe, Axe and Show, at least, have all 3 bows now.
I believe so. But yeah, so Zero pointing out, we all care about people except Stom. Sorry, Stom. You may or may not be watching, but you're in a better place now. Axeman turning in whatever it was Akahana wanted for nothing, basically. Hats,
Yeah.
yes. No.
I think basically at this point, all of our runners are just looking for the Sword of Fire.
Yep.
Maybe 1 or 2 of them have a bow still to find. Although we know it's not too far out of the way because... at least some of them... Okay, it looks like Mashima has all the bows now as well.
Yeah. Question in chat, did they find the shell flute? I got a little sidetracked in it and I kinda wasn't watching for a minute, so...
Axe
really?
wasn't able to use any of the flutes that he had. I saw him checking them in the back of Portoa. No, looks like we have a giant insect sighting.
Oh
As
boy.
Cornell's in the middle of rescuing the small child, decides to traumatize him first with a giant insect fight.
It happens. It could be Vanilla Dolphin as well.
Yeah, I think we might have Vanilla Dolphin. I'm not 100% certain.
I think it's a question mark.
Yeah, it's a question mark. I meant more in terms of what I've seen from our runners. It may or may not be on. It's hard to tell because you need a few very specific tells. You basically have to have tried a flute and then go finish that trade-in and then try another flute.
Also, one thing I noticed we didn't point out, X-Man is playing with the Messia sprite. I don't know how this completely our minds this whole time.
Well,
X-Man's doing that, Mashima is using the Soldier sprite, and Tornell and Sho are using the regular Semia sprites.
Yeah, the Custom Sprites edition is relatively new. Was added in right at the beginning of our tournament this year. There isn't a huge library of sprites to choose from, but it's not too difficult to create and import your own.
The horrible mother had the Sword of Fire. Well. As we experienced brief technical difficulties on our end, hopefully that didn't affect the stream.
So Axe picked up the Sword of Fire from rescuing the small child. I think
almost go mode for him. He just needs to trigger the dolphin. And that's the last real thing he has to do.
And it is Vanilla Dolphin. Axe just 100% confirmed it because we talked to Kensu in the beach house and he did not drop an item.
Yep.
So now the only question is, do we actually have the shell flute? It looks like the answer is yes.
Yep.
Okay, we do have the shell flute. Axe is in go mode.
Sure is. Just gonna make his way over to Evil Spirit Island, pick up this little thing back here.
Gets an Orb of Fire. That'll make the Sabera 1 fight go a little faster, so that's not unwelcome. But yeah, I believe Axe has to get through Evil Spirit Island, go back through Goa to get to Sabera 2. But yeah, it's basically just killing bosses. Because I believe he has all 3 bows, so...
Yep.
There's a question of whether or not they want any more combat tools for the tower at the end. You can see Axe is still taking a couple of checks, because I don't think any of our runners have found any bracelets.
Not yet. At least from what I've seen. I mean, somebody could have snuck one in there, but I doubt it.
Yeah. So yeah, you can see Axe still taking the time to make checks here. Because you really want to have some kind of combat tool, some kind of bracelet for the tower. There's another opal statue. Oh, and that looked like it was the flame bracelet, although it went a little pixely.
Yep, that was flame.
Alright. I bet you Axe stops making checks now.
Yeah, flame bracelet is kind of the ideal. You either want flame bracelet or thunder bracelet for the Dragon 2 fight and the tower climb.
Yep.
If you're really skilled or really don't
desperate.
Have many magic, desperate, don't have any magic recovery items, Tornado bracelet can get you by. If you just want to have a bad time, you can go with the Blizzard bracelet.
I've done Dragon 2 with the Blizzard bracelet, and it's not the worst, but the tower with the Blizzard bracelet is pretty miserable.
Yeah, you're not having a good time.
It works against the bosses because bosses don't get pushed around, but using it against random enemies, they get pushed around so chaotically that you more often just end up damaging yourself.
Yeah. Also, Zero pointing out in chat, we hadn't mentioned, Sabera is in her vanilla location.
Yep. Alright. Looks like Axe is still taking the time to make a few checks.
Yeah.
Care if I sneak in one more donation?
Go for it.
Alright, Classic Gamer 76 with $25 says, who doesn't love white mages? Okay, you can all put your hands down now, but this does go toward the all-white mage party for the TASBot plays this evening, which, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be the final run of the marathon. So yeah, that'll go toward white mages. Keep in mind, we've also got, I want to say, about a few more minutes on trying to get the logic glitch for the Zelda Link's Awakening run that is going to happen after this one. And since that brings us up to $526 during my hosting block, I'm going to grab another hat, so I'll be back in a second, y'all.
Alright, sounds good. Also, Kurant was mentioning the TASBot run. That is actually going to be done by the man who's in the lead right now, the Axeman 301. to wrap everything up.
What are you doing, Axe?
Does he not realize he's in go mode?
One first, and I just missed it because he teleported out of Sabera's fortress.
Has Axe found? Huh.
We can see Tornell clearly has the Sword of Fire.
Yeah.
He is in the process of killing Sabera too.
Yeah. What did we miss?
I don't know. And of course, he's menuing so quickly, I can't actually see if he's got the Sword of Fire.
Right.
Alright, chat saying that I don't think Axe has the Sword of Fire, which would make sense with the rest of his behavior.
Yeah. So he just needs to go, you know, find the Oak Mom.
Maybe I mixed. It's probably my fault. I probably just mixed up who did the swamp. Because now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was Tornell that killed the insect. So Tornell is the one in go mode. Yeah, Tornell has all 3 bows and all 4 swords.
And a Storm Bracelet, yeah.
And a storm bracelet. Yeah, okay.
Oh, yes. Get ready to hear a little bit more of Baby Elephants.
Well, other than, I don't know if Tornell has gotten the Shell Flute and completed that quest.
Oh, that is true. I think he has the Piccolo. I thought I remember. We'll find out.
Oh, good. There's our hat update. Fantastic.
The Tower of Hats is getting a little massive. Getting a little harder to fit on screen. In picture form, anyway.
Speaking of things that are hard to fit on screen, our key item inventories are overflowing. Thankfully, there's a change in the randomizer to allow you to drop key items to cycle in new ones. It can happen sometimes if you go a long time without turning in any key items and you just have, I don't know, 11 key items in your inventory.
Got a few too many.
The screen only holds 8, and if you're playing in vanilla, you're never going to end up with that because you have to actually, spend some of those to make progress in the game.
Yep, and Smilefire is pointing out Mashima grabbed the Blizzard Bracelet. I'm sorry for him. And yes, Crypt was nothing.
Sho is in the Sabera 2 fight, having also found the Sword of Fire.
So the Harpsichord is our Flute of Lime. And normally those two tell you if there's a key item. They said it was just treasure, so I'm pretty sure that just means it's garbage.
Yeah, I believe that's pure garbage in both Carissa Plant Cave and Fog Lamp Cave, which is a lot of ground to not have to cover, so it's a very useful hint.
Especially the Fog Lamp Cave.
Yeah. Alright, Axe doing the Kensu tag quest. I did not see what he picked up because the screen went a little bit pixely on my end at that moment.
Doesn't look too important. Oh, a Kelbesk statue then. So that would be the fourth of our statues. Kelbesk figurine.
Yeah. Alright, Mashima is doing the Oak quest that is going to get him the Sword of Fire. Tornell is doing some trade-ins, it looks like.
Speed boots!
Some speed boots for actually rescuing Slime Kensu. Probably coming in a little bit too late to make a huge difference, but always nice to have. Mashima actually making good use of the Blizzard Bracelet to take out the bug very quickly.
Yep, Dolphin for Tornell. He is going to go right his way to the back door of Portoa, and then Evil Spirit Island, most likely. Now, we do know it's just a magic ring for... I believe magic ring for getting rid of the whirlpool, calming the sea. So, that's kind of whatever. If they have it, they might just do it real quick. Oh, it's Deo's pendant, not a magic ring. But, I mean, either way, probably not something they're gonna do. Unless they forget what the item is. As Sho gets his paralysis and starts being able to use a dolphin.
And Mashima has picked up the Sword of Fire.
Going straight over.
Yeah, so Mashima is definitely in go mode.
Yes.
Just
Boss
has
and go.
to, yeah, deal with Sabera 1 and 2.
Axe
Easy.
checking the top, finding a fruit of power. Womp womp. You know, I don't know if Tornell, did he finish all of Goa?
Tornell's still looking for that Sword of Fire, right? I think he did everything else, but... I don't know, with 4 racers, it is very hard to keep track of everything that's going on.
Yes. Alright, Axeman making the play. He's gonna get his Sword of Fire here very shortly.
That'll put Axe in go mode. So Mashima's got a small lead on Axe. I think Sho is still looking for the Shell Flute. Or the...
Tornell does have Sword of Fire, it looks like.
Okay, so... Oh, so Mashima and Tornell are now neck and neck.
Pretty much. They're literally at the same corner. Mashima deciding to fight a spider, but, you know.
Yeah. Mashima is level
Tornell
13.
killing a zombie.
But might be a little worried about his levels if he doesn't have any tools to do the tower fights with.
He does have power rings, so that's gonna help a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that that'll completely make up the difference of not having the bracelet, but it's gonna take out a good chunk of it.
Alright, and that's Sabera 1 down for both Mashima and Tornell. Axe is on his way to get that Sword of Fire.
Huh. I forget, where was Horrible Mom?
I did not write it down.
Oh, that's the Oak Elder. Okay.
Survey says... You know, I don't think Axe wrote it down either.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna keep on checking. Meanwhile, Tornell is gonna be jumping into the crypt. Mashima is making his way over to Sabera 2, it looks like.
So Tornell's a little bit ahead because he dealt with Sabera 2 earlier?
Yep, he did Sabera 2 right before he did the Dolphin.
Okay.
I thought that was him, but
Right, of course. He
watching all
was the
these
one still
runners, I
looking
was
for the
like,
shell flute, so he did Severa 2 earlier, whereas Mashima's Go mode item was the Sword of Fire, so he still has to go back and fight Severa 2, which means Tornell actually has a considerable lead here, especially because Severa 2 is a little bit buried in Goa Fortress, so it's a long walk to get to her.
Meanwhile, Axe is also checking the crypt for the... Oh, he's gonna be so sad.
Yeah, it seems like he decided to go do crypt checks instead of continuing to teleport around since he was already in Sahara. But yeah, Tornell is on to Dragon 2, very close to the end of this game.
Maybe
Has a storm bracelet.
intensifies.
Yeah.
So the best part about this flag for Baby Elephant Walk is I didn't know about this as the commentator for the race this was put in. So I was literally just talking about Matrix race, just something, and then it just kind of clicked for me. I'm like, what's wrong with this music? Oh no, I was talking to Matrix because he was my co-commentator for it. And oh boy, was it great.
Alright, Tornell is through the Dragon 2 fight. Power Ring plus Storm Bracelet makes quick work of him. You just gotta hope that he actually opens up his weak spot.
And the Tower of the Baby Elephant begins.
Oh, that's right, it replaces the entire tower music, too.
Yep. All bosses, the tower. It's great.
Mashima finding that Storm Bracelet. Really happy to have that.
Still on the hunt for a neglectful mom. So at this point, Axe has made a lot of checks.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's very easy if you don't take meticulous notes. And it's very easy to not take meticulous notes as you're doing a race, but to just forget where a specific house is, and that seems to be what has happened to Axe here, is he's just, let's go recheck every house, because there it is. There's the Oak Mother in Portola, as it turns out.
Portola. Jeez. And that could have been it, Smile Fires. I remember that race being horrible just for how forced linear I rolled that seed. Like, they had to make all the same checks. There was very, very little discrepancies in that. And also,
yes,
thank you, Dark Moon. We did forget to mention, with the Storm Bracelet, there will be flashing lights numerous times, so if it does affect you in any way, shape, or form, please look away from the Tornell section of the screen, as well as
he's got one more floor of tower.
As well as Mashima's, because he has the Storm Bracelet, and he's getting ready to fight Dragon 2 as well. Meanwhile, Axe triggering Sabera 1, Show destroying some lion head statues. So yeah, unless something really wonky happens, we might have the order of this race set in stone.
This is looking like Tornell 1, Mashima 2, Show 3, and unfortunately Axeman 4th.
Which will cut Axeman a little bit of slack. He's been doing a lot of tasking lately. So...
Alright, Tornell is done with the extreme flashing lights of Storm Bracelet, has picked up the Crystalis Sword, and is on to the final fight of the game, Dinah, who, even with the Randomizer's slightly buffed version, is still one of the easiest bosses in the game.
Yep. You stand there, you hold barrier up, and you just stab. It shoots out a projectile for you. Also, baby elephant walk for this was great. J-Ro pointing out Mashima's Discord name, living up here.
And that is time for Tornell. Official race time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 45 seconds.
GG's to Mr. Winner Tornell. But unfortunately, Tornell will not be able to join us in the booth up here. He does have another thing he has to go do, so we wish him well in that. Thank him for the good race, and we hope to see him again soon. In the meantime, we're going to be watching Mashima, Sho, and Axe go through the tower.
Did I sneak in another donation?
Absolutely. Now is the time.
Anonymous donating $200. It says, let's hit that 5K and go for 6K. So, whoa, nicely done, Anonymous. Thank you very much. And yeah, that will get us very close to that 5K.
We've got Mashima and Sho both in the tower, with Mashima with a slight lead. Both of them using Storm Bracelet strats, lots of flashing lights. Axe is heading into the crypt. He's already opened up the crypt, so he's just gonna run right through here.
Yeah, and Zero pointing out, Mashima did have to take a death there right as Karant was popping on. We couldn't mention that, but yeah, that was a little bit of a setback there. Ooh. Getting pegged by a robot there. Just, wanted a little hug. And Dark Moon letting us know we do only have a couple more minutes in this race because we are a marathon. And we do have other stuff coming up. So we will be cutting away shortly. But for the most part, this race is pretty well set, so it's not too big a deal.
Honestly, I expect in those 5 minutes we will see Mashima and Sho both finish. And Axe will be close to it, if not actually finished.
Yeah, he will be in the tower for sure. I mean, the tower itself is only a 3-minute adventure, so... And yeah, that is correct. Sho very well might pull ahead here.
Yeah, it's going to be tight between those two. I haven't been paying close enough attention. I don't actually know which floor each of them is on.
I believe they are on the same floor.
Oh boy.
And it looks like Sho is a little bit ahead. Meanwhile, Axe is just, creeping up behind everybody. This should be the third and final floor for Mashima and Sho. Axe getting ready to clear out the first floor with fire, not thunder. So for those sensitive to flashing lights, Axeman is the one you want to watch.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But also, one thing we haven't mentioned, up on Tornell's screen, the randomizer has added in a stat sheet for the end of your run. So it lists out when you pick certain things or beat certain bosses. Gives you a rough estimate of your checks, how many times you died, or you had a soft reset. So, also gives you a rough estimate as your finish time as well. The hats!
Wow, they are
All of the
at
hats.
the same time, basically. It's going to come down to the Dyna fight.
Yep. It looks like Mashima is maybe 2 seconds ahead.
They entered at, the same moment.
Yeah.
And Sho took a second to menu, and I think that's going to actually cost them here. Mashima's also a higher level, so he's doing more damage.
Yep. All right. So we have official race time, GG's times. Mashima, 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 44 seconds. Sho Fukumachi, 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 49 seconds.
Just barely. Wow.
Yeah. So, 5-second difference. I knew it was going to be within a couple, but that menu put it a little bit farther.
Yeah. And only 5 minutes between first and second place. Like, this is a very close race for a randomizer. Given all the divergence that went on, the fact that we're going to have a less than 10-minute spread between our 4 runners is fantastic.
Can you imagine how close it would have been if Axe remembered where the dwarf mother was?
Yeah.
That would have been a race to first at that point. But Axe is going into the final fight. He's fighting Dinah. I mean, this is honestly... Axe is less than 2 minutes behind at this point.
Yeah.
I thought he had a couple more minute difference, but...
You know, going through the tower with Flame Bracelet is faster.
Yeah.
Because Storm Bracelet just had so much lag.
Time, 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 3 seconds. So that's not even a minute 20 difference.
Yeah. That's fantastic. GG's to all of our runners. That was a great race. Very close. And yeah, just well done, everyone.
Yeah. GG's to Mashima, Sho, as well as the Axeman. Once again, thank you to the FF1R community for allowing us to come showcase this as well. Oh, 5-second difference on the stat screen as well. Wow.
Yeah.
And yes. Sorry, go right ahead.
I was just going to say that the timer on the stat screen is very reliable in terms of actual real time spent, even accounting for deaths and resets, which reset your other progress, but your timer sticks around.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, from what I'm seeing, there is only a 2-second difference between Mashima's and Sho's stat screen and the race time. So, I mean, that could be, that's straight up pushing buttons at that point.
Yeah.
But all right, I have thrown my thanks out to everybody. Code Gorilla, thank you for letting me come and join you.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining me. This would have been a complete mess if I had to do all 4 races by myself. So thank you for joining me. And I think with that, we can throw it back to the host.
More hats?
Well, no more hats for the moment. But thank you, Code Gorilla and Big Daryl, for your commentary during the Crystalis Randomizer. Thank you to Axemen, Mashima, Tornell, and Sho Fukumachi on the race, and congrats to all 4 of you. And yeah, we are headed to get ready to get the next run set up, which is going to be Link's Awakening DX. So yeah, we are going to be heading over to do that, and we will see you all back in just a moment.